Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So previously what we had seen the procedures for doing for finding the confidence interval, right? Just let me quickly open that section for you. Just 1 second for like that. Okay, so this was basically how we'll calculate the confidence interval. What are the steps for doing all that things, right? So in that we had seen the second step. Okay, the first step we already know that how to find the mean. Okay, so I have not taken that step. So the second step was z score. So we had already seen that z scores in the previous video, right? Now today basically we'll be seeing about finding the EBM. Okay, the full form for EBM is error bound mean, right? So you'll be seeing this third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. All the three in today's video, right? So finding the EBM, constructing the confidence level. So this is basically constructing a graph, okay? And at the fifth, basically writing a sentence that interprets the estimate in the context of the situation in the problem. Fine, so we'll be seeing all these three things today. So let me quickly open one new file here. Yes, right. So let's start with the things for today, and just let me quickly choose one color for writing. And yeah, here we go. Now I would just request you to please pay proper attention, because if you had seen the previous video, in that video I had told, and if you're just not going to pay attention to today's video, then basically you will not be getting all the steps for calculating the confidence interval. Okay, right. Now EBM full form from this for this error bound mean, right? Error bound mean. This is actually we have already seen. Now basically for what it is actually used. Okay, so here I'll be writing the error bound formula, the error bound formula for an unknown population. As we all know that this basically EBM works on the unknown population, right? We already know this thing. So the error bound formula for an unknown population mean, okay? We basically have some population parameters, right? So in that basically population mean is one of that population parameter, right? We all had discussed these things previously in the videos also, right? So population mean, and which is denoted by mu, right? Mu is the symbol for the denotation of population mean. I would just write one more condition: when the population standard deviation, standard deviation. Okay, so population standard deviation is another parameter for the population parameters, right? So symbol for standard deviation is sigma. So I'm just writing that sigma here, right? Is known as, and now here it is basically known as EBM, right? So here I will be writing EBM. Now what's the formula for finding the EBM? So for that I would just take a different color so that it is properly visible about the things, right? Now Z is basically what we had already seen this thing in the Z scores, that Z is actually the Z score, right? Z, right? So here in this denominator for Z, I would write alpha by 2. Okay, so this was a denotation for the Z scores, right? We had seen the left portion and even the right portion in the Z scores video, if you remember that, right? So that thing I'm just taking here, and what I am just doing is that I'm just multiplying it by sigma upon under root of n. Okay, now sigma is basically my standard deviation, and n would be the basically the population or some random variable, random value, whatever it is given. So n is basically referred to as the total population. Fine, that is done. So this is the formula for calculating the EBM. Fine. Now what next we have here? So next thing we have just discussed about the error bound formula, that how to just find out that thing. Now second comes basically the constructing of the confidence interval, right? So how will we do that thing? So that will be done 1 second just. Fine. So here I'll be writing the second heading, and that is basically for us, that is constructing the confidence interval. Okay, now we'll be basically seeing that how to construct a confidence interval. I would just come down here, right? Now basically what does it actually tell us, right? Before like learning that thing, that basically how to make this thing, we just need to know that what actually it tells us, right? So for that I will be just writing here the confidence interval estimate. Okay, the confidence interval estimate has the format. Now format we all know, and since from the previous 4 to 5 videos, since the topic when I started is confidence level, confidence intervals, till that point, from that point only I'm just telling you the format. So the format is basically x bar minus EBM comma x bar plus EBM, right? We had already seen this thing. Fine. So just let me tell you, the confidence interval estimate has a format, and the format is actually, so x bar minus EBM, okay, EBM is error bound mean, okay, comma x bar plus EBM. So in the first one it is basically x bar minus, and on the second one it is basically x bar plus, right? This is the format for the confidence interval estimate. Now basically what does the graph, and basically how to just make that graph, right? That thing just come here, main thing. I would just write the graph gives us, the graph gives us the picture of entire situation. Okay, basically whenever we just make some graph, so from that graph only we just understand the half or more than half part of the solution, that what we are actually going to do and what is going to happen in the solution, right? That is why basically in statistics graphs are preferred mostly. Okay, you have seen, even if you have just studied with me from the very starting of this basics or sorry statistics playlist, so there you have seen, if I am solving any of the questions, so it is compulsory that I will be making the graph for that thing, right? I always make the graphs for any of the question, even for subparts of the questions also, I make the graphs. Because the graph gives us the picture of the entire situation, that actually what is happening and like what else you need to do here in this question, right? That is why basically we just plot the graph. So here I would just write, now basically what is the condition here? So CL is the confidence level, okay? CL plus alpha by 2 plus alpha by 2. Okay, so this will basically result us in the format of CL plus alpha is equal to 1. Okay, CL plus alpha is equal to 1. Right. So this is the basically format which we use for finding and for making the graphs as well. Okay, the graph gives us the picture of the entire situation, and basically CL plus alpha by 2 plus alpha by 2, and whenever you're just gonna calculate that thing, so it will result you this final output, final condition, or you can just final relationship between CL and alpha. Okay, the CL plus alpha is equal to 1. Right. Now basically it's the turn for making the graph. Now I would just request you to listen to me more carefully, okay? A little bit more carefully. So I would just like firstly take a different color so that it is like properly done, and I will just make a line here. Fine. Okay, my line goes like this. Okay, like this. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, and just let me quickly calm down a little bit so that, yes, right. And now we all know that it is a bell shaped, right? Bell shaped graph, right? We had already studied in the very starting, not in this topic, even before this topic only we have studied, right? So this is something which is called as bell shaped, and like I don't know it is very properly made or not, but actually this is actually what a bell shaped is, right? Now in bell shape basically for finding this CI, we just like divide it like this. Okay, now this middle portion which you are able to see, okay, before that just let me quickly put one point here. This is the x bar. X bar is actually my mean. Fine. So at this point, what will be there? At this point, my format will be x bar plus EBM, error bound mean, right? X bar is my mean plus error bound mean. And on the other side, basically on the left side of the x bar, it would be x bar minus EBM, right? So make sure to give the very proper things here, that on the right hand side it would be x bar plus EBM, okay, and on the left hand side it would be x bar minus EBM, right? Now what else I just have here? So this portion, now what is this portion actually? This portion is actually alpha by 2 for me, right? This portion is actually alpha by 2. What about this portion? This portion is also alpha by 2, right? Now what about the middle portion which I have here? So what is this middle portion for me? So middle portion is CL is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now from where the CL is equal to 1 minus alpha actually came? So right now just I told you one condition, that is CL plus alpha is equal to 1, right? So simply I just took alpha on the side of 1. So simply this equation comes, that is CL is equal to 1 minus alpha. Now just let me quickly highlight the middle portion which we had just made right now, this portion, right? So this is the portion in which you will be writing CL is equal to 1 minus alpha, this portion. Okay, just let me quickly highlight that so that it is properly visible even to you, right? Yeah, this one, right? So here this portion is actually called as my CL is equal to 1 minus alpha 1, right? And on the other sides of both of these things, it is basically the alpha by 2 and alpha by 2, right? So just let me now quickly take that color once again so that I can write. Fine. So this is basically how we just make the graph in the CL, right? For the constructing of the confidence interval. Now, basically, we are left with the very last thing, and that is basically how to write a proper format of the like last situation, last answer which we get, right? How to write that proper format, right? So let me just quickly write that thing here or here so that you can just like take a note of that thing. So let me quickly take that different color, black one, right? So here my next topic is writing the interpretation, writing the interpretation, interpretation, right? So it is basically writing the interpretation. Now here I'm just listing some things, so just make sure you have a note of those things, okay? Fine. So here I am writing the interpretation, my first thing, okay? The interpretation should clearly state the confidence level. Okay, the first thing which you should keep in mind is that the interpretation which you are just going to write, okay, that interpretation should clearly state the confidence level. Okay, this is the first thing. Moving towards the second one. Now, second is basically, okay, not the second, I would just put one comma and I would just write here only, right? I'm just not making some different points here. I would just put a comma. Okay, just 1 second. Right, right. Here I will just put one comma and I will start writing here. Fine. So basically I would just put a comma, and then after that what you need to do is that you need to explain what population parameter, okay, we have population parameters right now. I just mentioned about them, that are basically the population mean, the population standard deviation, right? Parameters. Explain what population parameters is being estimated. Okay, is being estimated. You can say population means whatever. Okay, and what about the last point? And should state the confidence interval. Okay, the first one was the confidence level, and now it should state the confidence interval. Okay, confidence interval, and in bracket it is CI. Fine. So this is basically what are the things which you should include in your basically interpretation. And if you just want a proper format only, that basically what are the things that I should how should I write? So I'm just telling you that thing. So put one semicolon. So here you can just write that in the form of that we estimate with dash percent confidence. Okay, I'm writing a short form for confidence. Okay, we estimate with that dash percent confidence that the true population mean is between this and this, right? So this is the correct format in which you should be writing that we estimate with dash percent confidence that the true population mean is between this and this. Right, so this is basically how we just write the things, how we just okay, just let me only go above for a while. Right, so first one I had just explained that basically, okay, right. So at the very first I just explained about the EBM, right? That what is actually EBM and what is the procedure for finding that. After that, we had just seen that how to construct the confidence interval, right? And at last, we had seen that how to write the interpretation, how to write the proper interpretation, okay? So at last, here, basically here, I just gave you a proper format also, that if you just want to write a proper format one, okay? So what thing you should actually follow, right? So I hope you just got the idea that basically how to find the EBM, how to find the confidence interval, how to plot the graph, and even how to just write the interpretation, right? So we will stop here for a while. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you. Till then, take care and thank you.